Autism is neurodiversity. However, neurodiversity is neither an ailment nor something to be fixed. It's simply a unique way of experiencing the world. Embracing neurodiversity isn't just acceptable, it can be truly remarkable. When you encounter someone with neurodiversity, you may recognize that they share a common humanity with you, albeit with distinct perspectives. Instead of fearing or misinterpreting these differences, we should celebrate them. We're all navigating the journey of life together, and as we engage with the world, our actions are a manifestation of our inner spirit, guiding us toward our aspirations. I have to be honest, right from the beginning, I did a lot of literary shoplifting to create this book. I used artificial intelligence programs to rework entire passages. I borrowed from Wikipedia and heavily leaned on Neurotribes by Steve Silberman, which is arguably the best book on neurodiversity. But here's the thing, I didn't steal my own experience of neurodiversity. I'm not here to flaunt my Asperger's credentials or parade neurodiverse tendencies as some kind of badge of honor, at least not yet. I do like to think of myself as neurodiverse, but honestly, who doesn't want to believe they're different from everyone else? And isn't everyone somewhere on the spectrum to varying degrees? There are hundreds of millions of us hidden in plain sight, mostly unaware of our condition, but acutely aware that something isn't quite right. We have all taken something that doesn't really belong to us. We've borrowed from the universe, and one day the universe might come knocking to collect. But let's face it, hasn't everyone swiped an identity at some point? Borrowed a sense of who we are, starting from the moment we're born. We materialize into this world emerging from the cosmic soup, mostly a blank canvas with a set of inherited genes shaped by the culture we're born into. That sets us on a life path, creates a blueprint, and defines the grand design. If we're fortunate or self-aware enough, we might get the chance to rewrite the rules of the game. And here's what I have concluded. Nothing really exists except consciousness. This statement may seem overly dramatic and like a significant generalization to many. To further investigate this concept, it is essential to delve into the philosophical underpinning of yoga practice, known as non-dualism. Non-dualism posits the existence of a single unified entity, often referred to as consciousness, that acts as the observer of the world. In this framework, we are an integral part of this observational process rather than being the ones engaged in the act of observation. Central to this philosophy lies the fundamental inquiry into identity and our connection with the world. The essence of the yoga experience is inherently transcendental, existing beyond the constraints of our material and physical existence within the realms of space and time. Neurodiversity, including conditions like autism and ADHD, is both a concept and a real phenomenon. It's a modern concept emphasizing the unique strengths of neurodiverse individuals. From a diagnostic perspective, these conditions are real and recognized based on observed behavior and neurological functioning. While not perfect, modern diagnostics are more advanced than medieval medical practices like bloodletting. So, neurodiversity is both a new way of thinking and a real aspect of human diversity. We are born with the potential for greatness, though very few achieve more than middling mediocrity, even those who on the face of it experience fame and fortune. Look around. Have you met anyone truly great? Someone who has gone beyond the claustrophobic limitations of this material existence. I mean truly transcendently great. Such persons are rare, and that is because we cannot see greatness. People talk incessantly, ranting and raving. The truth is an opinion. Integrity is an option. Life is lived in a cage without walls. But do any of us truly experience greatness? You don't need to be a genius to discern the glaringly evident aspects of life. We all, without exception, arrive in this world devoid of opinions or preconceptions, save for a budding sense of self. From there, we embark on the grand journey of identity construction, assembling information and fragments of knowledge in a haphazard, orderless fashion from a web of random events and encounters, borrowing and adapting as we traverse our unique paths. In truth, there's nothing genuinely original about any of us, neither under this sun nor any other celestial body. We may fancy ourselves as one of a kind, a landscape of original thought and character, perhaps a bit wealthier or fairer of face, bearing distinct physical attributes or navigating the maze of mental conditions. We may hear the languages of China, England, or the mystical realms of Double Dutch and learn to recognize our name. It all plants the seeds of identity, sprouting the vibrant flowers of personality. Now, the nature of this enigmatic ego remains somewhat elusive. Is it some form of psychophysical entity, a tangible presence, or rather, a continuous flow of experiences woven together by the threads of conceptual continuity? Some folks parade with colossal egos as grandiose as mountains, while others safeguard their ego as if it were the most precious of treasures, reminiscent of Gollum and his ring hidden deep within the recesses of a mountain. While each of us harbors a sense of identity, we must acknowledge that the materials we use to construct it are rarely entirely our own. It's a sort of live and let live scenario within this compound of chemicals, minerals, atoms, neutrons, protons, and their electrical dance partners. Let's not forget the microscopic residents either. We share our space with trillions of them, approximately 39 trillion to be precise. These microbial cells, encompassing bacteria, viruses, and fungi, inhabit us, each one a self-sustaining life force dwelling within a body that identifies itself as one. And to distinguish this unique blend of elements and microbe companions, we're assigned a name, a label that prompts our response. In the grand scheme of things, it's a rather intriguing paradox. Nothing truly exists. It merely appears to be. Yet, here we are, wholeheartedly believing in our existence. We are nothing without a name. My parents decided on my first name from the Bible. The second name was handed down through many generations. I didn't have any say in it. It wasn't my choice. I came into this world already stamped with generational conditioning. My eyes happened to be brown. Even before I was born, my future life was filled with characters from the living world, each with their own stories and experiences to share. Like fish in the sea, we humans are swept into an era, a moment, and a place. We keep on moving, carried by the current. I don't carry guilt for borrowing much of the content in this book. You borrow what you hold dear, and you hold dear what you borrow. I borrowed that thought as well. What's the deal with yoga and neurodiversity anyway? Is it just a passing trend or something more profound? Not many people really get what yoga is all about. Yoga is like the ultimate connection, the glue that binds everything together. But the yoga people practice today is like a faded photocopy of the vibrant yoga of the past. It's like having a high-performance sports car with a crucial part missing and running on subpar fuel. The real deal, the genuine yoga that's deeply rooted, is a mind-blowing experience. It's like a cosmic journey that takes you to places you can't even imagine, far beyond our galaxy, to realms that aren't even considered places. But here's the twist. Most of the yoga being practiced today like a workout for your bacteria, a muscle-building routine, and a serotonin booster. Don't get me wrong, it's fantastic for your health, and it's all the rage. But it hasn't exactly turned the world into a utopia as we hurtle toward what feels like an impending apocalypse. Yoga today is like where millennials go to break a sweat. Meanwhile, their Gen X parents mostly can't stand it. Boomers with their bearded gurus had their own spiritual journey. But millennials? They rejected that wild and unpredictable spirituality and opted for a sanitized, secular yoga. They traded in the mystical for the physical, embraced the standardized, and skimmed the froth. Does that sound angry? That's autism for you. For the majority of my life, I grappled with this thing. Let's call it by a name: Asperger's or high-functioning autism. Names don't change the essence of things. Regardless of the label, the experience was all too real. I felt like I was consistently falling short, like everyone else had their act together, while I was merely the dirt on their polished shoes. I was on the train of life, but it often felt like I had no ticket. Most days were spent evading the conductors, slipping in and out of compartments, country to country, endlessly searching for a perfect world where I could finally feel at ease, free from that relentless anxiety that stalked me in my relationships like the hounds of London on a chase. But then, on my cosmic journey through space and time, I found myself high up in the Himalayas, India, at an ashram. There, I crossed paths with someone, a guru, and through their guidance I stumbled upon what we can call cosmic truth. This higher truth cracked open my mind, revealing the genuine nature of my condition. Through the practice of a more profound branch of yoga, let's just call it mystic meditation, I acquired skills and techniques that helped me coexist with this condition of mine. I learned not to fear people or situations, not to walk around with a perpetual sense of inadequacy and wasted potential. I came to understand that nothing exists unless it truly exists, until it's here and while it's here. But what is it that actually exists? Is it something tangible or just a void? And how on earth can nothing exist? If I can think of an analogy, it would go like this. Like a person who has always wanted to dance but has two left feet, limps, has no sense of rhythm, stumbles and falls, and so does not venture out onto the dance floor, and then stops going to the dance. And then suddenly somebody shows the person a technique that enables them to go out and dance and just do their thing, not caring of what the world thinks and unperturbed if they are not landing on the beat. You get the picture. It's about self-expression and being yourself. I still don't consider myself normal, but I don't feel abnormal anymore. Life's dance floor has two distinct aspects. First, there's the acceptance of your condition, which is like the rhythm you need to find to move to the music. Second, you've got to discover a technique, a special dance move, if you will, that allows you to live authentically without constantly wearing a mask, all while seamlessly blending into the world around you, especially the social whirlwind that many folks on the spectrum find perplexing. But what exactly is this masking business anyway? Is it a somber affair akin to sorrow? Or perhaps it's the tale of the man in the iron mask a la Alexander Dumas. Masking is like wearing a disguise for so long that you start to forget who you were beneath it. Masking is a bit like a survival technique that some autistic individuals employ to navigate social situations where they may not easily pick up on social cues or follow the social script. Actually, if we think about it, almost everyone, regardless of whether they're neurodiverse or neurotypical, engages in a form of masking from time to time. However, for those with the unique existential condition that we call autism, this masking often serves as a shield against overwhelming social anxiety. You see, this anxiety can reach such heights that it eventually leads to emotional withdrawal or even a full-blown meltdown. These meltdowns can manifest as selective mutism, shouting, or sometimes unfortunate episodes involving objects or people in their immediate surroundings. It's kind of like children throwing a tantrum when they can't express themselves properly. They're still learning the ropes of managing these moments of intense anxiety after all. Now, adults on the spectrum may become quite adept at concealing these meltdowns, but it comes at a cost. They end up burying a part of themselves, hiding it away from the prying eyes of the world. And that can lead to lives that feel unfulfilled, with unrealized potential and persistent disappointment. But this isn't how things were meant to be. Everyone has their dreams and aspirations, and there's nothing more disheartening than seeing those dreams crushed. My story is one filled with meltdowns and moments of mutism. And in order to cope with a condition that could sometimes feel overwhelming, I had to learn essential life skills. I like to think of it as learning to play a musical instrument. If you dedicate enough time to studying theory and practicing scales, you become proficient. Similarly, we can become proficient in life by learning essential skills. The premise of this video is that you might identify as neurodiverse, meaning you think and react differently to the world. Alternatively, you might know someone who's neurodiverse, whether it's a friend, a sibling, a child, or even a parent. This isn't an academic work or a self-help manual, it's more of a hybrid memoir and a path through the forest, a map of the journey I've traveled. To begin any journey of self-discovery, you must first understand where you currently stand. Denial won't get you anywhere. It takes courage to acknowledge that you find the process of being alive challenging. Perhaps you have lofty ambitions of achieving greatness, or maybe you simply want to fit in with the rest of the world. In this book, I'll share the technique I discovered for navigating life's minefields. My journey ultimately led me to a higher form of yoga. But fear not, I won't lecture you or patronize you. Nobody appreciates a know-it-all, unless they're funny, and I'm not particularly great at telling jokes. Instead, I'll share my own often catastrophic mistakes along the way, rather than delivering a sermon from a pedestal. When you're sailing through a storm, it's invaluable to have someone teach you the ropes, someone to guide you through the dark forest, across rivers, over mountain peaks, through mists, fogs, rain, and snow, amidst heat and dust. And here we are, diverse but fundamentally human, just a tad different. Each of us haunted by our own invisible ghosts. So what does it truly mean to live life on the spectrum? Let's dive into this question, bypassing the conceptual jargon and exploring it in practical terms. Autism, ADHD, and Asperger's syndrome are phenomena that have been part of human existence for ages, even if they weren't explicitly recognized or understood in the past. Back then, there simply wasn't a descriptive vocabulary to capture these conditions, and if you can't express something in words, it's challenging to comprehend fully. Today, thanks to advances in neuroscience and our understanding of the brain, we have a clearer picture of what it means to be on the spectrum. These conditions are fundamentally neurological, impacting a person's social and communication skills. It's as if we're all unique flowers bursting forth from the ground in spring, and the spectrum represents just another set of conditions or characteristics that shape who we are. While there are commonalities among individuals on the spectrum, each person's experience is distinct in how it manifests behaviorally. Autism, for instance, is often associated with repetitive behaviors and challenges in both verbal and nonverbal communication. In contrast, Asperger's syndrome tends to involve intense interests in specific subjects and difficulties in social interactions. ADHD, on the other hand, is primarily an attention disorder, particularly noticeable in children who may struggle with focus and impulsivity. Unfortunately, some end up medicated as a last resort when parents and school authorities find it challenging to manage their behavior. In essence, life on the spectrum is a unique journey filled with its own joys, challenges, and idiosyncrasies. It's about embracing these differences as part of human diversity, rather than viewing them as limitations. It's important to note that most neurodiverse children eventually develop the skills needed to lead successful adult lives. They find their own paths and achieve various levels of success, much like the rest of the population. Some even excel and make remarkable contributions in their respective fields. However, the journey for those on the spectrum, the neurodiverse, is often characterized by unique challenges, including high levels of anxiety and a pervasive sense of unease. Neurodiversity is recognized within the medical community as a developmental disorder that impacts an individual's ability to communicate and engage with others. It's described as a spectrum, indicating that it affects people differently and with varying degrees of severity. Many neurodiverse children exhibit behaviors that differ from those of their neurotypical peers, such as temper tantrums, bedroom disruptions, and reactions to changes in their environment that may seem unpredictable. Parents of neurodiverse children often face unique challenges in understanding and supporting their child's needs. However, numerous resources are available to assist parents in navigating this complex journey. With patience, love, and a deeper understanding of their child's unique perspective, most neurodiverse children can grow up to lead fulfilling and successful lives. There's a common tendency to turn to medication to address the behavioral challenges of children on the autism spectrum. However, it's essential to note that medication should not be the first or only approach, especially for those with milder cases. Medication may be considered in extreme cases, or when other therapies and interventions have been explored and found ineffective. Behavioral therapies, speech and language therapy, occupational therapy, and other forms of targeted support can often help children with autism develop essential skills and coping mechanisms. Medication should be used as a last resort, under the guidance of medical professionals who specialize in autism and developmental disorders, and after a thorough evaluation of the child's specific needs and circumstances. Every child on the autism spectrum is unique, and their treatment plan should be tailored to their individual strengths and challenges. It's essential to explore various interventions and therapies before considering medication as a primary solution. Introducing yoga as a potential source of relief and support for the neurodiverse is a valuable perspective. Yoga, especially when approached from a holistic and traditional standpoint, can offer various benefits beyond physical well-being. The incorporation of mantras, meditation, and pranayama in yoga practice can indeed have a positive impact on mental health and overall quality of life. Mantras are powerful tools for calming the mind and promoting inner peace. They can help individuals focus their thoughts and reduce anxiety. Meditation and pranayama further enhance the mind-body connection, reduce stress, and improve emotional regulation. It's important to note that yoga is a highly individualized practice, and its effectiveness can vary from person to person. Some individuals on the autism spectrum may find solace in self-regulation through yoga, while others may prefer other forms of therapy and support. The key is to offer a range of options and encourage individuals to explore what works best for them in managing their neurodiversity. By highlighting the potential benefits of yoga, especially the more holistic and spiritually oriented aspects of the practice, my aim is to provide a valuable perspective for those seeking alternative approaches to managing neurodiverse conditions. I'm not asserting myself as the arbiter of what constitutes good or bad yoga. Instead, I'm simply sharing what has proven effective for me, finding that sweet spot and providing a sense of context and relevance. The yoga I'm discussing involves the integration of human intelligence with a connection to the cosmic mind. I often question my capacity to provide guidance on yoga. After all, there's an abundance of books, YouTube channels, Instagram accounts, TikTok profiles, and more dedicated to the subject. Who am I to assert expertise in comprehending the universe, let alone cosmic consciousness? I can't pretend to elucidate the workings of an intergalactic spaceship when I occasionally grapple with basic tasks such as changing a fuse or repairing a lawnmower. Nevertheless, my goal isn't to offer exhaustive explanations. Instead, I aim to provide insights into yoga from a neurodiverse perspective, an area I'm profoundly dedicated to. Neurodiversity constitutes my life's work, and although I may require some support, I aspire to make a meaningful contribution to this ongoing dialogue. Allow me to don my trusty yoga hat, a bit old-fashioned perhaps, but it serves its purpose well. Yoga is an ancient practice that beckons us to explore our inner selves and our connection to the universe. It provides a path to access a consciousness that transcends our everyday thinking mind. Through dedicated yoga practice, we can detach from our daily concerns and immerse ourselves in an alternate realm of existence. Within this realm, we can discover tranquility amidst chaos, find serenity amidst the noise, and unlock our inner wisdom, liberated from preconceived notions. These concepts may already be familiar to you, as they often form the introductory chapters of numerous yoga books, beautifully elaborating on the notion of universal consciousness. For individuals grappling with neurodiversity spectrum disorders like ASD and Asperger's syndrome, yoga can prove exceptionally effective in managing anxiety, depression, and sensory overload. It bestows a sense of concentration and calm that is often elusive in their daily lives. Additionally, the physical yoga poses, asanas, can enhance balance and coordination, offering further benefits. But who am I to assert authority? Is this simply an understated attempt at self-promotion? And that's where the crux of the matter resides. Most of us on the spectrum are well acquainted with the sensation of residing on the wrong planet. I too used to humorously label myself as the idiot bastard son, a visitor from the Zorg planet navigating the human experience. We understand the feeling of being alien both to ourselves and to everyone else. My book, Yoga and Autism, encapsulates the journey of that idiot bastard son, from the tumultuous waters of autistic neurodiversity to a secure harbor of conformity, firmly bound to the mast during tempestuous seas. It's about learning to embrace one's identity and locating a niche in the world. My story within these pages is an unembellished account, a true-life chronicle, and I aspire that it might serve as inspiration for others embarking on their own quests toward personal sanctuaries, unveiling their individual truths. Neurodiversity presents its own set of challenges and can be incredibly draining. It sometimes feels like carrying a heavy bag of rocks on your shoulders. Yet it is also a unique gift. I take pride in being neurodiverse, a hero within my own floating universe.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel Yoga and Autism for more content. Your support means a lot to us. Click the subscribe button and the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Share this video with friends and family who might benefit from our yoga practices tailored for autism spectrum. Let's build a supportive community together.